here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NSL. We are here with HayaBusa, with David Goddard, Jeroen Olet, Michele Silvi, Neil Williams and Dennis Scott. So, let's start with a question for Michele.
Buonasera, signora.
How is going the jumps? How are going the jumps, the camp?
Actually, they were pretty cool. You know, I'm an excellent Italian talent and I know how to do things, you know, so yeah, we are making some really cool jumps, you know.
Let's cut this part. It's better if you do my...
Continue.
Okay, alright, well then let's get serious now. So Mr. Michele Silvi, Mike, is sitting over there. HayaBusa is correct, you know, we are here with HayaBusa. And gosh, you guys have a story to tell too about your recent trip to Florida for the last training camp before the World Championship. Where do we begin? Last time we talked was, we tried to figure it out. I think last time we talked was
June.
Charleroi? No, after Charleroi we had we had a Zoom stuff, and that was before your CISM championship, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of things have happened in the meantime. Who wants to give us a quick overview on what it was? You know, I'm not sitting. It's not good. Let's switch again because you're looking at me away from the camera. All right, give us a second here. We are gonna so we had just tried to recall where we were coming from. Last Zoom meeting was before your CISM championship. Dennis, let's start with you. Give us a quick overview what happened ever since, so before
since that talk, we went out to the CISM in Austria to do that championship, and obviously it was with Dave because Neil was still in his military course, let's say. We won that. It was very nice. It was a nice competition also, again with Dave. Brings back memories, let's say. But since then...
How did he do?
Yeah,
What a question. What a question.
No, but I mean that was
Italian. What a question.
It was fun. But then obviously we started back training with Neil, and with the little layoff, I mean we did some jumps with him, but then with that big layoff of him being at this military school. Obviously we had to redo some stuff because it was a lot of information that he got and he had to process it all, and the break that he got with doing his military course was maybe too long. So I mean not everything was gone, but now we can actually start really training, focusing on the basics and all that stuff. So I mean the world meet for us is you can look at it like it comes at a bad timing, which it actually, let's say for this team it does, but I think it will be a good experience for us, for Neil, for this lineup, to be there to try and defend our title, and so that they all already had the feeling of a world meet, but maybe not with the expectations that we uphold as HayaBusa. So I think it's going well. Obviously you're probably gonna see a HayaBusa that is not super consistent yet, but we take it as it comes, and we hope to have a good time and take the experience in, especially for Neil, who hasn't experienced it.
So all that is behind you now, the military. Was it hard to think when my team is training now and I can do it, and you were crawling on the floor in the mud, I guess?
I had a reason to do it. So I knew I need to do those 10 weeks, and then I was an official member of HayaBusa, so I was motivated enough to just finish it.
And now we see you in full action there. We have some, I don't know if you want to spare some videos later on, by the way, if you want to show some people where you are right now, we can take it. But the training is almost over now. This was the last training today. And how many jumps have you done yet this year, with the team?
I think we have around 250?
250?
350.
350?
That's
With me.
since December 2021.
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well, I think nobody can really expect consistency at this point. Bob, what do you
No,
think?
for sure not. There are not really any secrets anymore. We know as a team what we need to do. We know how every block should work or how it's supposed to go. But yeah, he just has to go through everything, have the repetitions, make sure just to see all the exits once, and then maybe tweak a little bit. By the time, it takes a couple of 100 jumps just to get through everything. And there's only so much that you can learn in the tunnel. Once you start skydiving, there's only one way, and that's to make the jumps. So we're in the process of making those jumps now, but we're still in the beginning process. We know it takes at least like 2 years to start to arrive, let's say. So we're now at maybe half a year with Neil, with his training, with everything, with all the breaks. But so far where we are with him, I think it's good. Of course, there's a world meet coming, but yeah, we know we will not be 100% ready. But there's already some good stuff, and we saw with the Belgian nationals that once the pressure is on, then we do see a different style of jumps on certain jumps. So there's something there, but yeah, let's see what will come out of it.
Yeah, that weekend of the Belgian nationals, we had actually a little preview of the World Championship, right? I mean, you did the same competition draw, great idea. And then we had the Qatar Tigers live in wherever that was, Chicago. So we will see that in a few weeks. And in Nilo, only the French team is missing, because you have to expect kind of a battle there, right? Michael? Mike?
I don't know actually what the French team are doing, because I'm trying to focus on what we do with this team. So actually we're not comparing each other with other teams for the moment, because the level that we are is at the beginning, and we try to build the first steps, and then in a few years maybe compare with other teams. But now we're just focusing on ourselves. But I think, for sure there will be some battles for the second place, third place. This guy will be Qatar and France, and for sure we will be there, maybe there. But I think that we should beat them.
Well, that's honest. Here we go. Now we're speaking. Yeah, we should beat them. Well, realistically, that's why I have to follow this for what I'm doing. Realistically, it will be a pretty interesting situation, because I think there will be 3 teams and only 2 sets of medals, right? I mean, Airspeed will most likely walk away with it, with the first place, but then there's again Tigers, friends, and then you were 22.7 on the scoreboard this year already, right?
But for sure on the paper it says this, but
On the
in
paper,
the reality
right.
it's different, because they are all young guys. They want to win against you, and maybe we can have a bad day. They will have the best day of their life, and so things can all sure change. But on paper.
And nobody knows, and that's always the beauty. You go to a competition, and we have our numbers, but the numbers don't really say the reality anyway, because between Belgian nationals and USBA nationals, the numbers would be usable, to compare as they were. That's why you did it. But other than that, we don't know what France would score in the same draw and so forth. So, but the day of the competition will show where everybody is. How do you get? What's the plan? No, where do we start? No, okay, let's go back. That was your last training camp, but you have a different story to tell as the Norwegian team recently had, because you came to Florida at an interesting time of the year.
Well, I think it was a little bit foreseen that we would come to Florida while it was like a hurricane season. We expected some bad weather, and eventually we got that. I think despite our training, I think we still feel sorry for the people from Florida that are dealing with that hurricane. So in that sense, I think we're very lucky. I think the Army made for us an interesting way out, actually, that we had to evacuate the region, and then instead of going to the north, we actually went towards Miami, and we went there for a hiding place. And then after 2 days we came back, and then the sad thing is, of course, we need people to fill up the planes, and I think most of them were cleaning up their houses and cleaning up the debris. So that day was actually not jumpable, although it was beautiful weather. And so eventually, if we would have planned the camp and go home with about 85, almost close to 90 jumps, we're now leaving with 44. So in that sense, I was a little disappointed also, because you felt at the last nationals, the Belgian nationals, there was something like we knew what we wanted to train here, but we never got it out of it. So we are kind of leaving Florida now and going to Italy with a little bit more question marks, instead of actually being fully prepared in our capability as what it is right now. But on the other sense, I think that's what we expected at the beginning of the year. And I think if I look back to the history of HayaBusa, it's always nice to first witness a world championship. I think Dennis witnessed a world championship in 2010 before he actually had to compete with HayaBusa. Bob did the same thing in 2012. Mm-hmm. Mike was already there in 2018 for competing for Italy before entering HayaBusa, and now it's, of course, Niels' situation is a little bit more different, because he now has to already do it. So in that sense, it's a little bit like unfair for him to perform on the highest level. But I'm still saying to the team, like, hey, enjoy it, ride it, feel the path into a world championship, experience it, love it, because the next time there will be more pressure, and it might not feel that good as what it will be now in Eloy.
And you are surrounded by 3 world champions, reigning world champions, 4, in fact, so they can tell, the world champions can give them some advice, I guess. I listened a little bit to that today, and I what Bob. So my question would be, what are you telling him? How is it going to feel like? And
it's stuff that's a little bit individual for sure. So we all deal with pressure and like the meet differently. So we can just share what works for us, but that doesn't mean that it applies to everybody. But if we just say what works for us, maybe they can pick some stuff and just take it with them, and maybe that's like the 1% that can help them to get the nerves a little bit down, or for certain situations just to get over it a little bit easier. But yeah, of course, you have to go through the meets for yourself, and the more meets you do, the easier they become, the more you can deal with the pressure and all the stuff happening around. But I think we already know with Neil and with Mike, they did meets before. Even if you do a meet in Belgium, that the pressure is on, because the other teams are watching your performance. So I don't have any doubts that we will have a good time and a good meet in Eloy.
So you pick a little bit experience from here, you pick a little bit advice from there, and then you're trying to put it together for yourself.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So that's already happening. You're listening carefully to see what applies.
Yes, I try to learn as much as possible for them, and they're telling all the stories from the World Championship, and I try to go to the World Championship with an open-minded and learn this time. like they've said, this time it is what it is, and the next time we need to compete for the first place.
What do your former teammates say about this? Are they jealous? Or you meet them, you talk to them, right? I mean, Fergo is the former team, and so are they all like excited with you about your?
Yeah, for sure. I think that is also if one of the other guys from Falco would go to HayaBusa, it's always nice to say like I had a team with someone of HayaBusa. And then so they look at that way and like they're proud of me that I can do it, and they also like it that I'm here and they give the chance to me.
You met them most recently, you know, at the ESL Championship. That's your home place, more or less. And tell us a story of that. Was a funny story. How was it from your experience there? You know, your team, your former team, Falco, was competing there, and you showed up to.
Yeah, I was there Thursday evening to drink a beer. And then I came into the bar and Sven and Grim were sitting there from Five Flash and talking to some other guys, and I walked into the door and said, "Hey, this is your fourth team member." And I was like, what's happening? And then after some while they convinced me to also participate the next day, but they didn't know who I was. So they were like telling me, "Hey, you can choose your slot. We turn you around, no problem." And then okay, good. I walked the jump with them, okay, no problem. And then the next day I just put on my jumpsuit and then they know who it was.
It's a good thing sometimes to be
incognito.
It was a funny story. And then you also met one of the Norwegian guys, you know, who are dealing with a totally different situation. One of the team members cannot find Dennis. You're shaking your head, you know the story.
Yeah, well, you told me.
Yeah. So, and you know that who will be back in the slot now, right? I mean, I was training with them, but I cannot do the world meet.
Not
so
you.
they need somebody.
Someone from Norway.
Yeah, and
An old Norwegian member.
No way.
No, yes.
Oh yes, yes way. Carl Erik Tooth.
Yeah.
Has anybody jumped? No. Okay. nobody
I
knows.
think he stopped after 2003.
Mhm.
So I think he couldn't.
You were
but I was in 2004
Mhm.
to the World Championship. I saw them once in a while at the Shamrock, the Norgies, but then not at their highest level, let's say.
Yeah. So that is really a generation back.
Yeah, but they were really good. I mean, I can still remember the time that I was like watching videos and looking at it in slow motion, and I was studying their jumps as well, because the way how they were skydiving was actually was picture perfect. I can still remember that. It's still in my mind, and so for me also they were like an example when I was becoming more older.
The Norgies.
Yeah.
But I almost forgot. But there is a cross connection because they know you and you know them. You coach them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, when they come here to the land, they work with Solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working with them a little bit in the tunnel. Well, with the whole COVID situation and stuff, it was from a distance, so with videos and with Skype talks and whatnot. But they are a super cool bunch of guys. They're very motivated. They want to bring up the Norwegian skydiving formation skydiving back up. I saw they started like some sort of a B team and where they weight with and all that stuff. So yeah, they're very motivated and very likable bunch of people. So just a little bit sad for Christopher. I mean,
Always wanna.
I mean, I don't want to.
It's very sad.
I don't want to be him.
No,
It's bad enough for the team, but imagine, you must.
I still have my passport, so
What
I
can
can
you
go.
do?
I can go.
Things happen, right? I don't want to say the other word for it. No language danger here. But, That happens.
It happens.
So what's the road from here on towards Eloy? It's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, that's a little bit less than 3 weeks, I think, before the meet starts. So we go back tomorrow around noon. We fly back to Belgium. Then we have like a demo because there's a new bus in the military base where we are at.
A new bus. A bus.
New bus.
Okay.
So
New general.
colonel.
Yeah, colonel.
So if the weather permits, we will do a demo jump on the parade, let's say, and then we have some paperwork stuff to do, some medical tests that we have to go through every year, stuff like that. And then it's off to the world meet. But we train a couple of days prior, just to get to know the plane, the drop zone, everything, and that will be it. That should put us ready. Yeah.
First visit to Arizona, I guess, right?
For me, yes. Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah.
You've
For
been there
Bob.
before?
For me as well.
For you too? Okay. Beer,
Here,
Double.
the bend prop.
and Bob, yeah, well, it will look very different compared to Florida and to Belgium, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of red
Dust.
dust. and then round one will be coming. So, what's the advice for round one, Fournier? What do you do in round one? How do you deal with it?
I think, looking from my experience in the past, I think round one is always a nerve feeling in your stomach, and most likely we will be in the back of the plane, being number one, or still,
Oh, that's
at the
right.
moment.
Yeah, sorting it in.
Yeah, so
in
most
your-
likely we're still behind airspeed, and I would say like, hey, enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride, look how everybody's acting, feel the tension, but at least don't choke. Don't choke.
That's right. In round one, you will be in the.
Well,
in the jumping mode.
I guess so, unless in Arizona they want to play it differently, but
No, that's FAI
Yeah.
rules
Yeah.
or procedures. Okay, well, that'll be exciting. Last out the plane on round one, the first round. Great experience. Well, we are all hungry and thirsty at the end of the training camp, so we're gonna leave it like this, and then we have only 3 weeks until we, share our experiences at some point again. Thanks for taking the time here.
Thank you.
And thanks for the introduction, Mike. That was very good.
I did my best.
Yes, you sure
Okay,
did.
Kurt, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.